guys, it's Leah. Welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to Bookmas Day 10. I honestly wish that I could start every single video in my pajamas, but today we are just going to be having a cozy, festive, kind of like Christmassy sleepover vibes. I am literally just having a lazy day, hence why I'm starting this in my pajamas, and we are just going to have a really good, fun, cozy, festive time. I don't really have too many plans as to what I want to do today. I know I need to start wrapping Christmas presents because we are getting close to the big day and I have not even started and I'm very behind, so we're definitely going to do that. Whack on a Christmas film, I'm sure, make hot chocolate. I really want to read some more festive romance books, so we will definitely do that. I do kind of want to go outside and get like a coffee, but I'm starting this. I'm not even going to tell you what time it is because if you knew what time I was in my pajamas right now. It's obviously one of my days off at the bookshop and it has been intense this festive period, so I'm just taking this as a well-deserved kind of festive break because I have not been in a big Christmassy mood at all, unfortunately. Filming Bookmas videos is honestly one of the only things this year so far that has put me into a festive mood, which is amazing and I love it, but I definitely want to get even more festive and that is the aim of this video. So yeah, this is just going to be a really cozy festive vlog. I hope that you stay and you have a really cozy festive time with me. But yeah, right now I'm going to do some errands. I am currently listening to Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I'm currently on chapter 10 and I am absolutely loving this so far. It's one of the Christmas romances that I've heard the most incredible things about, and I've never read a B.K. Borison before. I know that they are incredibly popular in like the series of romance books that they do. And this one is my first and I am thoroughly enjoying it. This one we follow our protagonist who owns a tree, like Christmas tree farm. I think at the beginning she's entering some sort of competition for this like Instagrammer, this kind of person to come over and basically promote the farm. But doing that, she kind of mentioned that she has a boyfriend and like really wants to live up to this like cozy romance festive time at the farm just to make it like so picturesque and perfect. But she's single, she does not have a boyfriend, so she asks her best friend to fake date her. You know where this is going and it's so good. The tension between these two people I'm absolutely obsessed with. Like, I'm not always sold on the idea of best friends, friends to lovers. Don't get me wrong, I am in real life because my boyfriend and I were exactly that, but in terms of romance books I have read more friends to lovers that I kind of didn't really like than ones that I did like, but for this one I'm really pleasantly surprised at the minute and I'm really enjoying it, so I want to make sure I read or listen to a bunch more of that today. I then also really want to start an ebook. I have been in a massive ebook mood this month and I tell you what, 2024 is the year of the Kindle for me. As a bookseller, I don't know why I've just always been one of those people that's like, yeah, having a physical book, like I can't imagine ever reading on a Kindle. Yeah, not anymore, girl. Don't get me wrong, obviously there is nothing like reading a physical book and I will always choose physical books over any sort of like electronic version of reading, but I've really been loving ebooks and I've been reading a lot on my phone and on my iPad and I can absolutely still continue to do that. I don't know why I've just been so fixated on the idea of getting a Kindle. I've been umming and ahhing about it for years, and yeah, 2024 is the year where I'm gonna get a Kindle, and plus that means I can decorate it. I'm gonna go absolutely feral when I get my hands on one. So yeah, I want to start an ebook, obviously on my phone currently. I think the one I'm going to go for is A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I did actually start this I think a couple of days ago. I literally got 2 pages in and I stopped reading it. I literally messaged my friend because the epigraph for the book is, first epigraph is literally Jude Law from The Holiday, so I messaged my friend it and she was like, you know that this is going to be the best thing you've ever read or like the worst. And then I got 2 pages into it and there were just a bunch of like buzzwords where I was like, ooh, it's too late at night right now, I can't do it. Those 4 words, I shit you not, literally I underlined them to show her. All within half a page. We have MILF, TikTok, toy and pornography. But since then I've been watching a bunch of other people's Bookmas videos and I have seen a couple of people read this, and once they actually explained what it was about, because I kind of went into it knowing absolutely nothing. I know that this is the second in the sort of series that they are doing together. I can't remember what the first one is, I can just picture the pink cover. And I know that this one is the second one, but I don't think you need to read them back to back. I could probably read this one first and it will be absolutely fine. So yeah, those are my reading plans for the day. As for everything else, I have no idea. I know I'm going to wrap presents, I'm going to watch a Christmas film, I definitely want to make a hot chocolate, and I might also go out into town. I kind of do need to grab some food out, but I might maybe get coffee, I'm not entirely sure, but I will just bring you guys along with me. And yeah, I'm really excited to just have a cozy, homely, festive day. Okay, so I checked and I actually don't have any oat milk left in order to make a hot chocolate tonight, and that is the motivation I needed to get dressed and head out into town and go get some. So I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna get changed, we're gonna go out, I'm gonna listen to more of Love Like Farms, and we can make a hot chocolate. I'm home. This is the heaviest bag I've ever had in my life. For me, it's the way that I was out for an hour and it's already pitch black outside, but I'm just so happy to be in now. Does anyone else also find it so satisfying? Like, one of my favorite things, or to be honest, probably my favorite thing about doing a food shop or going out and getting food, is the packing it away. I don't know what it is, but it makes me so happy to be an adult and I love it. So that's what I'm going to do now as I listen to more of Love Like Farms. I'm currently on chapter 15 now and I am really loving it. The tension is still so good. I'm loving these characters so much. I am loving the story. I'm loving the writing style and the pacing. I definitely think I will read more BK Borison by the end if I still am enjoying it to the scale that I am now. But yeah, I'm really loving it. It's definitely helping me be in a more festive mood, which is what I need right now.
Now sit in your house, lock all the doors, and wait for me to get there. If you look at his right hand, this is the same person who said, "Love all my boxes." Not the drops of that, but he
So I just made a cup of tea to warm up slightly because it is so cold. On my Instagram, I asked you guys a couple of days ago if you had any questions. I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of a Q&A in this video. I cannot remember the last time that I did a Q&A. It must have been well over a year ago now, and there are quite a couple more of you on here and on Instagram now. So I thought it would be fun to do one in this video, and I don't know, you guys can get to know me a little bit more. Some of them are going to be bookish, some of them aren't bookish, which is fun. But yeah, I'm just going to go through my Instagram and we're just going to do a little bit of a cute cozy Q&A as I drink my cup of tea and I warm up. Also, I've just realized you can see the bottom of the Christmas tree. No, that is not a tree skirt, it's a blanket. I never bought a tree skirt, so we're making do. So the first question that I got was, do you have a degree? If so, what did you study? I do have a degree. I miss studying so much. I miss being at uni so much. I did English lit and creative writing. So I did study literature. I was one of those readers who I always knew I wanted to go to uni, but there was never anything that I was like, okay, I 100% want to have this profession in my life other than being a writer, but you don't really need to go to uni for that. There was no profession that I wanted to do that you would need a certain degree for, and reading, it was one of my biggest passions, it's still. So I decided to just go to uni and do English literature and creative writing, and it was one of the best things I ever did. I miss it so much. So yes, I do have a degree. We then have, what is your most reread book? My most reread book ever, this does actually kind of go in with the first question, is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. My favorite book of all time. I have reread this book now at least, I would say, 7 times. I have read it a multitude of times just for my own personal enjoyment, but I have also read it for A-levels, which is insane to think about. That was so long ago. I made sure I did so many essays on it in A-level, and then also uni. I've read it so many times. It's definitely my most reread book. Oh, this is a fun festive one. Anything book related on your Christmas list? Yeah, to be honest, I don't often put books on my Christmas list because I am a bookseller. I get really good discount personally, so there isn't much point in people buying me books when I could just get them for half the price. So I never really get books for Christmas, which I'm more than happy with. But this year on my Christmas list, I did put a Kindle. I don't know if I'm gonna get a Kindle for Christmas, but if not, I did say it's something that I am just gonna buy myself in the new year regardless. I kind of mentioned it earlier how much I had been umming and ahhing for years about getting one, and I feel like now is the time. I just really want one. So I did put a Kindle. Also just a shit ton of candles. I literally cannot read unless it's by candlelight in the evening, so a lot of candles, I guess you could say, is bookish. And other than that, I think that is the only book related thing on my Christmas list. My favourite genres. I am definitely somebody who reads from every single genre. I do read a little bit of everything, but I would definitely say my favourites are absolutely translated fiction. I don't know what it is about any sort of translated fiction, but 9 times out of 10 I love it. Probably like 70% of the 5 stars that I've ever read in my entire life are translated fiction. Also just fiction in general, literary fiction, classics, those 3 I feel like for a really long time took up the majority, or like the first couple years of me really being back to being a reader. Those 3 were definitely the genres that I read most from, but at the minute too, definitely fantasy and also definitely romance. I am absolutely in my fantasy era, and that makes me so happy because before this year I never really kind of delved into it, and I'm having so much fun reading them. So 2024 I'm gonna read so many more fantasies and I'm so excited. But I would also say thrillers. I love a good thriller. I love a good psychological thriller. I love anything that will leave my jaw on the floor, and I did a couple of years ago go through a really big thriller phase where all I kind of read were thrillers, and now I haven't read a thriller for so long. So honestly I read a bit of everything, but definitely I would say translated fiction, literary fiction, classics, and at the minute fantasy. I'm from the same person we have, and how many places or countries have you been to? I love your channel, thank you so much. How many countries have I been to? 2? No, I think it is actually 3. I'm really not that well travelled. I haven't travelled that much at all. I am French, I am also English. I have always lived in England, but because I am French I have obviously gone to France to visit family, and then I've gone to Belgium. Other than that, those are the only countries I've been to. I really want to travel. I'm somebody who has always had a really big want to travel, and I feel like I'm never going to be completely satisfied in my life until I have done a lot of traveling. It is definitely something that I want to do, and in 2024 I definitely want to go somewhere or like to another country that I have never been before, and that's absolutely not going to be hard because I haven't been anywhere, so choosing somewhere is going to be easy, but I want to make sure that I actually do it. Even saying that, I didn't even have a passport until this year, so I really haven't traveled that much, but it is something that I want to do, especially in the next couple of years, and I would also love to like document it on here. And yeah, I cannot wait. I definitely want to travel soon. I wonder where I will go next. This is such an interesting question. What is a direction you wish more writers would pursue, artistically or thematically? I have never thought about that before, but that is so interesting. What is something I wish more writers would pursue? I think, I don't know, one of my favorite things to read about in general, especially when it comes to older literature and classics, is the Gothic. I would love to see more modern writers exploring themes like the Gothic, like Saltburn. I don't know if anyone has seen Saltburn. You probably have. If you have, how are you doing, by the way? I'm a little bit traumatized from it, but it is also one of the best films I watched this year, and I wish more books kind of were daringly Gothic in the sense that that was. Yeah, other than that, I've never really thought about it before. I think my just initial response would have to be anything Gothic. Could I text him? No. No. Is there a movie you enjoyed more than the book it is based on? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure there are a ton, but the first one that comes to mind is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Obviously, it only came out recently. I really re-entered The Hunger Games era. I am so tempted to reread all of the books. Probably not The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I really did not like the book. I read it when it first came out a couple of years ago. It was actually one of the first vlogs I ever filmed, was me reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I don't think it is up anymore, but for that it really holds quite nostalgia for me. I really didn't like the book, and then going to see the film I was quite apprehensive because I was a huge Hunger Games fan when I was younger, and I knew that going into the film I would get all of those nostalgic feelings, and I really wanted it to just live up to the other films, not necessarily to the book, because I didn't have high expectations when it came to the story. But oh my god, it was so much better. I loved the film. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I did the book, so definitely The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If nothing else, what's one thing a book needs in order to keep your attention until the end? I don't know, I think I would just say lyrical, beautiful writing. Anything that's going to leave my jaw on the floor, like anything that's going to make me leave my comfy bed just to get a pen to underline it and annotate it, then it's a winner for me. Again, the Gothic and unreliable narrator even, I love. Oh, I also love when something has like religious undertones, but it isn't wholeheartedly religious. Like if something is really talking about religion in a sense, like Paradise Rock, for example, that I eat up every time. I love an unhinged female protagonist, so to be honest, actually thinking about it, probably there is quite a lot, but I would definitely say lyrical writing. It just wins every time. What's your favourite special edition you own, and what is one you wish you owned? My favourite special edition that I own is this edition of The Secret History. I would get up, but I'm being incredibly lazy and I literally cannot be bothered, but this one is definitely my favourite book. One of my favourite books that I own. I cannot believe I still have it. One of my best friends got it for me for my birthday this year and it literally blew me away. I was absolutely not expecting it. I collect multiple copies of The Secret History and this is one that I have been wanting for years, so absolutely this one. And what is one that I wish I owned? Oh my god, I know exactly what it would be. The Fairy Loot Divine Rivals. I would sell my soul to have a copy of that. Divine Rivals. Let's talk about it, but not in too much depth because there is a video where I go fully in depth into my review and my thoughts, but oh my god, what a book. When I tell you at this point, I am begging for a proof. What I would do, the book literally comes out in 2 weeks and I need it like right now. I can't even think about reading anything else. It has been a struggle. Last night I was sat on the sofa talking to my two best friends and I was like, I don't know what to read because I'm in the biggest book hangover I have had probably since finishing The Secret History, and that is all thanks to Divine Rivals. I loved it so much, so I would love to have the Fairy Loot Divine Rivals. That would be a dream. And obviously, like in a dream world, a first edition Jane Eyre, but that's never gonna happen. Are you planning on staying in Brighton or is somewhere else calling to you? So I moved to Brighton for uni nearly like 5 years ago now, which is insane. Time is a social construct. What the fuck? How has it been 5 years? And I love it so much. This place is absolutely home for me now. It is one of my favorite places in the world. I don't ever see myself not coming back here if I do decide to leave, but in the same vein, I definitely don't plan on staying here for my entire 20s. I feel like when you move to Brighton for uni, it is just such an inclusive city. There is so much to do. There is constantly something going on and it is so fun. There is something for everyone here. I feel like this city really just has such an incredible culture and history to it and I love it so much. But I don't want to live in Brighton for my entire 20s. I have so many places. In a dream world, I would love to like live somewhere for 3 months and then live somewhere else for 3 months, and that includes places all around the UK but also countries. I really get this sense of wanting to experience so many different places and so many cultures but for like a prolonged period of time, and I don't really know how to juggle that because I can't live every single place in the world that I would love to live, and that makes me so sad. But because of that, no, I don't think I will stay in Brighton forever. Definitely not. There are so many other places I would love to live, but I do think it is a place that I could absolutely see myself like settling. So in that vein, where else would I love to live? I mean, in a dream. Am I going to talk in a dream? No, we're not going to talk in a dream. It will happen. I would love to live in like maybe New York for a couple of months. I really want to go to New York. I do get this real calling that I need to go to New York. I definitely want to make it happen in the next couple of years. I don't know if I ever will get the pleasure of living there for a little bit, but I would love to. Also London. I have always wanted to live in London. I am there all the time anyway, but just being able to live there, it's one of my favorite places in the world. Every single time I am there, and albeit that is quite often, I just say that I want to live there, and every time I am there I get even more of a want to live there. But at the same time, as much as I love the city and I love a busy city life, I need nature and I need countryside. And yeah, I think that's why I like Brighton so much, because you do get a little bit of both, and I don't know, I want to live so many different places. So I definitely won't be in Brighton forever, but for now, I'm happy here. Favorite book that you've read this year? I'm not gonna say that just because I do have an entire video of like the top 10 books that I have read this year, and in that I will go so in depth into my favorite book of the year, and I'm so excited to talk about it because at this point I'm trying to convince everyone and their mum to read it. When are you going to read If We Were Villains? I promise I'll read it one day. No, I will read it soon. This year, no. Oh my god, we got 2 weeks left. Fuck, I did say I was gonna read it this year. I will 100% be reading it in 2024. Like, I can't not at this point. It will be read, I promise. I'm so sorry I haven't read it yet. What was your favorite thing about studying an English degree? Oh my god, there's so many favorite things that I loved, but I think the main thing was having an outlet to write and to do essays on something that I was so incredibly passionate about. I say it all the time to the people in my life, but I miss writing essays on books and literature that I was so passionate about more than anything. I also just miss learning new things every single day about something that I am already so passionate about, because with English and literature there is something new you can learn every single day, and I loved that. That would definitely have to be my favorite thing. Favorite dark academia book? I feel like I would have to say The Secret History by Donna Tartt, but also Babel by R.F. Kuang. Those two books. Your favorite romance book? Definitely All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. What makes you truly care about a character? I feel like this is incredibly subjective in what I'm gonna say, but being able to relate to a character in a multitude of ways, even like the smallest facet of one thing that a character does, and I'm like, oh shit, that is so me. I love that, and that makes me care about them so deeply and so fondly. In that sort of element, definitely when a character has experienced grief and the way that they process their grief, for me, it makes me care about them probably more so than anything else. And I don't know, I think the way that they just talk about their relationships and their friendships, the way that they are to themselves, when I can relate, that is when I will care more so than anything else. But there are so many things that make me care about a character that I'm sure I wouldn't even realise, but being able to connect to a character, 100%. What's your MBTI type? My MBTI type, I feel like I say that wrong every time, but I am an ENFP. Analyze me if you want. Oh my god, describe the novel you are writing in 3 words. I'm not gonna lie, I have not written in a hot minute due to BOOKMAS and just wanting to get so much content out there. But I am working on a novel very slowly, but albeit surely, and 3 words to describe it, oh my god. I feel like the first one has to be gothic. Haunting? Oh my god, what would the third one be? I'm kind of leaning towards melancholic, but I feel like those 3 all fall under the gothic umbrella. So definitely gothic, haunting, and that is actually a really good way of thinking about what to write, because I don't even know what the third word would be. Okay, I think I would have to go gothic, haunting, and whimsical. Those would be my 3 words, I think. Are there any bookshops on your bucket list to visit next year? To be honest, off of the top of my head, no. One of my favourite places that I visited this year was absolutely Edinburgh, but definitely my favourite bookshop that I visited in general in Edinburgh would be Armchair Books. I think about it all the time. I definitely want to go back there. I am planning another Edinburgh trip next year, so I definitely hopefully will be there next year. But any bookshop that I haven't been to before off the top of my head, not really, to be honest. I love just stumbling, like exploring places and stumbling across a bookshop. I don't really have any bookshop in mind where I would be like, I need to visit this at least once in my life. I just more so like exploring, and if I come across a bookshop, I'm obviously gonna go into it. Saying that though, I want to go into any Barnes & Noble. Set me loose in a Barnes & Noble. Oh my god, I would go feral. A small comment on Bluest Eyes, or will it be for next year? So the most recent book that I actually finished that I posted on my Instagram was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It was the first Toni Morrison I have ever read, and oh my god, I absolutely want to binge read every single thing now that she ever wrote. And it was so, I never really knew what to expect going into Toni Morrison. I just heard that she was one of the most incredible, amazing writers that everybody needs to read at least once in their life, so that I did. But other than that, I had no expectations. But The Bluest Eye was incredibly gruesome and so difficult to read. It did take me quite a while to get through because of that. It was absolutely a heavy read, but the commentary and the writing, Toni Morrison's writing, was absolutely astounding. Like some of the most incredible writing I have ever read. So I'm definitely going to read more from Toni Morrison. I think off of The Bluest Eye, she is another author that I'm going to have to add to the list of I want to read every single thing from, which is a big thing to say for somebody I've only read 1 book from, but I loved it so much. I would recommend it, but I would also heavily recommend checking content warnings, because it was a really heavy, difficult read, but an imperative one and a beautiful one. How many books did you plan on reading this year, and how many did you actually read? So my Goodreads goal for the year was 100 books, and I have surpassed that. I'm currently sitting on 106. To be honest, just for my own mind's sake, I would love to get to 110 by the end of the year, but I'm really not going to be fussy. I've gone over my reading goal, so I'm really happy with that number. Where are you from? I am from Kent in the UK. I'm originally from the middle of nowhere, and then I moved to Brighton for uni, but I am from Kent. What is your favourite song? like ever. I'm not gonna be able to tell you my favorite song ever. My brain is not working like that. But my favorite song right now, to be honest, right now I am exclusively listening to Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. Oh my god, my camera battery's flashing, so if it cuts off, I'm sorry, this might have to be the last question. But yeah, I'm exclusively listening to Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. My favorite songs from that album: Family Tree intro, A House in Nebraska, Family Tree, Some Bleached Flies, and Strangers. I would have to say I'm just obsessed with Ethel Cain. She's all I'm literally listening to right now. And we'll do 2 more questions until my camera dies. Is Joan Didion on your TBR, or have you already read her? I have read Play It As It Lays. I really liked it, but I definitely think I will like more from her. I want to read tons of her, so she's definitely on my TBR. If you were to own your own bookstore, which section would be the largest? That's fun. Probably translated fiction. I feel like that would have to be the one. Yeah, translated fiction, also with a side little genre of unhinged women. And yeah, those are all the questions that I'm going to be able to do for today. Thank you so much to everyone who asked me one. I love you all so much. I love getting to know you guys, so I hope that you love to get to know me a little bit more. But yeah, I'm now going to finish my cup of tea. I'm going to finish Love Light Farms, hopefully, and I'm going to charge my camera, and I will see you very soon.
Why, to the North Pole, of course! This is the Polar Express!
What do you mean I live? I'll have my Oh, you're doing that one. Wow. Delish. So this is make chocolat chaud avec nous. Nous. Oh my god.
Do you see that, guys?
Wait.
The orange peel. Oh, that was so good. They're really good.
She's really good.
She's really good. That's such an expression. Oh, okay. I see. Are you embarrassed? You can kiss my good content goodbye. Chocolate by day.
That's. See, I haven't tried that much.
Guys, I'm sure you're all wondering what mine is looking like.
I am.
Show you. No, not you.
Oh.
There we go. It's looking very white right now, but we're gonna make it better. Alright, come on, swirl it with me.
She said swirl it with me.
Want the cream?
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh,